What's up everyone, Tech Gamer here. In this video, we're going to unbox, set up, and review the Serafim S3 mobile device game controller. Now a huge thank you to Serafim for sending me this. I am super excited to check it out. Of course, all opinions expressed in this video are my own, and with that said, if you could do me a favor, click that like button, follow, subscribe to me here at Tech Gamers World. That would be totally awesome. So, let's get to the unboxing. So here it is. This is the Serafim S3 mobile device game controller. Now, I personally have never heard of Serafim before, but super excited to check it out as I'm always looking for new, cool gaming gadgets. So I do notice first thing off the front that it has Tom's Guide CES 2024 award. That actually means something. Tom's Guide is really cool and a good source of information in both the gaming and technology industry. So the fact that they have an award from them definitely makes this controller stand out among others. We see here that it's made for the iPhone and works with Android, so that's pretty cool. It is a USB-C connection, so that is important to note, and I'm sure they'll get to that here. Taking a look at the top here, just more information about the controller. On the bottom here, we have some information on what it is compatible with. It says here it is compatible with iPhone models 15 and higher. That is because it is a USB-C connection. So basically, Apple switched to USB-C ports on their iPhones starting with the iPhone 15. So if you have an iPhone 14 or older, they have Lightning ports. This device will not work for you. You need an iPhone 15 or higher. Now, with that said, these devices are also typically supported and work very well with Google Android phones. You just need to make sure that your phone has a USB-C port and the latest Google operating system or Android operating system, and it should work. Checking out the back here, some more information, just another picture of the controller and information in different languages. We have English, French, Japanese, Chinese, German, Spanish, Korean. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and open it up, shall we? Let's check it out. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got a little information card here showing us it wants us to download the Serafim console app, and it gives you a QR code to get to the app and some information here on how to install your phone inside of the gaming controller. So let's go ahead here and take out the controller. Here it is. We'll just put that off to the side for just a minute here and see what's left in the box. Got some stuff in here. Nothing else there. So here we have, and looks like the instruction manual. Wow. A whole lot of instruction manual. Basically, it is the basics about the controller, such as the ports, how to set it up, and it is all in different languages. Same thing on the back here. It's just more of the same, just in other languages. So we'll go ahead and put that off to the side. As we all know, real gamers don't need instructions anyway. Next up, let's see what we got. What are these? I bet you these are additional grips. So, yep, they are grips for the back of the controller. That is really nice that they send additional grips. You can see here, they are. These are for the back of the controller. So we'll put those off to the side here. And let's check out the controller. So as I said, this is the Serafim S3 mobile device gaming controller. Looks like it has a telescopic body because it slides out to fit different size smartphones. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I definitely love the look and feel here. I love the matte black here with the little carbon style looking finish. It's nice. It says Serafim here. The buttons, taking a look at all the joysticks and the buttons, definitely feel decent quality. Actually, I'll say good, very good quality. These definitely feel like they're Hall effect joysticks, which is really nice because that helps to ensure long term that these sticks will minimize the risk of stick drift breaking because they actually use mechanical insides. So that's where they get the Hall effect from. And you can tell when you move it around, you can kind of feel it and feel it click. It does have a D-pad on it here. Very nice. I kind of wish that the D-pad was a real D-pad. It didn't have the circle around it because these, when they put the circle around it, when you put your finger there, it just feels weird. That's just a pet peeve of mine. I prefer just the traditional old school up, down, left, right D-pad. We've got various buttons here. It looks like we have a Serafim button. This is probably like a start button. This is a select button or a pause. We have looks like a capture button, the menu button, and then your A, B, Y, and X. Up on the top here, we have the L1, L2, R1, R2 buttons. Very cool, very cool. So all the buttons and joysticks layout basically mimic the modern day console gaming controllers that we all know and love from Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, which is awesome. Looking at the back here, not much on the back here. I like these grips. These are textured grips here. I'm definitely going to keep these on as opposed to the smooth grips here. I prefer the textured ones. You can, of course, just pop these off probably and put on the smooth ones if you prefer. Flipping it over here to the bottom, we see that there is a mini RCA port, so you can hook up headphones to this. And then there is also another USB-C port. This would be used for charging, so you can charge your mobile device while it is still connected in here, because obviously when you insert your mobile device in here, you're going to use up the available USB-C port on your mobile device, so you would not be able to charge it without another connection, which would be this one. I did notice that they did not include a USB-C cable or a power adapter, which they could have at least provided a USB-C cable. I get it, most companies nowadays are not providing power adapters, so I'll let that one slide, but I would have liked to see at least a 3-foot USB-C to USB-C cable included here, just for connectivity purposes and charging. But that is all good. This thing is really nice looking, very lightweight, slides out easily, and it definitely looks like, based on the depth here, that you will be able to keep your case on your phone. That is super awesome because, as we know, cases add width and height to any mobile phone. It looks like here the USB-C port moves up and down. That is really cool because obviously we all know the USB-C port is going to be a little bit higher or lower in the phone depending on what kind of case you have and what kind of phone in general. Taking a look here, I did also note that the USB-C connector is actually slightly longer than most other USB-C cables that I have. They definitely give you an extra couple millimeters there, and that is good because, again, same reason. If you have a case and you put it on at the end, you want the USB-C connector to fit into the USB-C port snugly so that it makes that solid connection. So initial thoughts here, this thing's awesome. Really lightweight. I love the black finish here. I like the A, B, X, and Y buttons all feel good. The Hall effect joysticks feel good. I love the fact it has the D-pad. I do wish that D-pad was a traditional one, which is up, down, left, and right, but I get it. D-pads are a thing of the past, except for when you're an old retro gamer like me. Got all the other buttons here. You've got the button on the top, the R1, R2, L1, L2. Definitely feel good. Very feels responsive. Slides in and out easily. Looks like it has good depth for a phone with a case on it. So let's go ahead now and get our phone connected up and try this out. So we are going to be testing this out with an Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now this does have a case on it. As you can see, it works. So let's go ahead now and get this installed. Very easily, just go ahead and do that. Line her up, and there we go. It is installed. That was super easy. Now checking here the fit, very important because like I said, I do have a case on it. The phone sits level. There is definite room for the camera there because as the camera, as you know, knocks out the back bit and it's not touching the telescopic rail. It barely clears it. So that's good. That means the phone is sitting flush and there is room on this for cameras and cases, the camera lenses and cases. That is awesome. This is a really solid design. I have used some of these devices where they are just straight up terrible and they don't hold together. And when you put the device in, it sits cockeyed because the camera's pushing up. But this definitely looks awesome. It looks like they took into account the fact that people have cases and the camera lenses stick out, especially on the newer phones. The cameras get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's awesome. Let's go ahead now and get on our phone and let's check out the Serafim app here. So coming into the app, let's check it out. This is basically my first time using it. I did notice that the very first time I opened it, it did require me to associate with my Apple ID, and it did try and force me into a 1 year subscription for free, which in and itself is okay. I did have to remember to go into my Apple ID and cancel the subscription renewal so that I do not forget in a year. But that's okay. That's kind of the norm for apps these days. They want you to associate everything to your Apple ID or create a login and all that good stuff. So let's check out this app. So we've got the menu bar here on the left. This is showing Doom 2, an awesome game. So going down here, they have all kinds of different games, it looks like, that you can go ahead and get through this app. Now, of course, these games are not provided through the app. It will take you to either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store to download them. So as you can see, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, NBA 2K25, that's Apple Arcade. So that's pretty cool. They give you recommendations for games that are supported for use with this controller. Awesome. It looks like you could integrate this app into Twitch and do live streaming straight from the device and the app. Here, that's pretty cool. So there are no files. That is because I haven't taken any screenshots yet. I bet you if I hit this, yep, it'll take a screenshot. That's cool. That's cool. So you can take screenshots of gameplay. And then there is settings here. So account information. As you can see, the subscription status, it did force that on me. The connection, the controller. So connection, connect your Twitch account, controller here. You can check for a start controller test, check for firmware upgrades. So we'll check for updates. Firmware is up to date. I always recommend anytime you get a device, always check and make sure that the firmware is on the latest general release version. It can fix bugs, compatibility issues, all of that good stuff. Captures here, default resolution for captures, 1080p is the highest, and frame rate, 30 frames per second or 60. I always like to default my stuff to 60. We have the version of the Apple operating system, the app version, the build version, all important stuff. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go back here. And you can use the controller to navigate through the app and find yourself some more games. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead here and try out this controller with some Fortnite. Jack that volume up. You may or may not be able to hear the volume. All right, so we are in. So first thing I want to test is, does the controller actually work on menus? It looks like it does. Very nice, very nice. Check testing the R, the L. So we're going to go ahead here and do a battle royale. We'll do a zero build solo, just so I can test how well the controls actually work. This thing is really nice. I love how lightweight it is, and it feels good in my hands too. Really solid. Doesn't flex. All right, so here we are waiting for players. Just testing jumping here. L and R work nice. You hold down L for the zoom. Awesome, awesome. Definitely got some good accuracy on it. I'm looking for things like stick drift. When I stop, it stops. So accuracy is super important here. Like I said, when it stops, I don't see any stick drift. Nothing's moving around on its own. Definitely move it up, down, left, right. Awesome. D-pad works. Really cool. Battle bus is leaving. Take a screenshot again. Awesome. We'll go ahead and turn this down a little bit. Battle bus is left. We'll go ahead and drop out and head down to the ground here. So this thing is awesome. I definitely love the feel here of it. The accuracy, the response rate is good. Everything is working awesome. And I love the fact that it is just simply plug your phone in and go. You do not need the Serafim app, unless, of course, you want it for game recommendations, um, video editing, screenshots, stuff like that. Definitely nice to have. Here we are. Testing holding down. Very nice, very nice. Holding down the joystick works, especially you can. I like the Hall effect feel of the joysticks there. I do notice that the buttons themselves are a little loud. The D-pad is definitely a little on the loud side. That is because of the mechanical stuff underneath. So I will let that slide. But I definitely like that feel of it. Nobody's around. There's a. All right, we're going to head off here. So let's get into final thoughts. I absolutely love this mobile device game controller from Serafim. This is awesome. It is lightweight, it is sturdy, it has every button that just mimics a modern video game console controller, all for use on your mobile phone. And it is really cool. The app is awesome too. It provides you with games recommendations that work and are compatible with the Serafim S3 controller, which is awesome. You can capture screenshots, and I'm sure there's a ton more customizations, which is pretty cool, pretty cool. I will go ahead in the description of this video and post a link to the Serafim S3 controller if everybody is interested in it. Check out their website. They offer a lot of deals and sometimes even include some games when you purchase the controller, which is really cool. I cannot say enough about this controller. It is straight up awesome. A huge thank you to Serafim for sending me this. And as always, if everyone could do me a favor, please click that like button. Follow, subscribe to me here at Tech Gamers World. That would be totally awesome. And I will see everyone around. Keep on gaming.